Hi everyone, it's Kareem here. I think quite a few people have been waiting for me to make this very video, so I'm going to put it all out there instead of just staying quiet about it. So a while back I made a video on how I reached my first $10,000 a month, and it was purely by dropshipping on eBay. So through that video, although I only got around 1.4k views, I had well over 60 people, or even more I think, reach out to me on Instagram and YouTube. I didn't expect that many people to reach out to me from a video that only got 1.4k views. And you know who you are if you're watching this video. These guys were reaching out to me and asking me if I had some kind of course around eBay dropshipping and if I could teach them how to run the business. I mean, people were offering me money straight up just to sit on a call with them and show them exactly how to run the business and all that stuff. You know, and I had people offer me all the way up to like $3,000 just to teach them. And of course, I didn't take a penny. I didn't go against my morals and I did not make a penny from anyone. I could have easily probably made around 70 to 80k. I'd say 90% whoever reached out was literally asking me about how I ran my eBay business and that they're willing to pay for a course, some kind of guide, or have me mentor them, sit on a call and so on. But I just didn't, and I couldn't do it. And I'll tell you the reasons why. I just knew simply this was not a stable business. And I can't teach people something that could possibly damage them in the near future. That's just not me. I can't do it. But anyways, putting that aside for now, I'll explain how I made money from the business for those who aren't too familiar with it. I will simply list items onto eBay from different retailers. So in my case, because I live in the UK, I would list discounted or clearance items from places like Asda, Argos, Costco, Poundland, and so on. I just simply go on their sites, see what's available, see what's on sale, just simply list. So after listing them, I'd use an online eBay profit calculator to see how much money I'd make on each sale. So let me quickly jump on my laptop, which I have in front of me right here, and I'll show you exactly how that works. So for example, I'm on the Poundland website, okay, and I've got this aloe vera product. I would make sure first that there are a couple of eBays at least selling this. That shows that there are active buyers buying this product. So I found this guy called Beauty Logistics. He's clearly doing quite well for himself. You know, if he's got over 14,000 reviews, so that he's doing pretty good. But yeah, he's selling it for £6.95, and as you can see, it can be sold for £2 on Poundland. Now, you can buy this from different suppliers as well. Like, for example, I'm sure this guy is probably drop shipping from Amazon. On Amazon, it's being sold for £4.50. If you've got Amazon Prime, you don't have to pay for shipping. And yeah, next day delivery as well. So he's only paying £4.50 and he's selling this. I would use the eBay calculator, you know, just of that. So sold price is £6.95. Item cost is around £4.50. Top rate seller, I'm guessing, business. You know, put the item category, which is health and beauty. It gets around £1.26 for that specific sale. He's got 13,000 listings, so that's just one item. So if this guy is selling 13,000 items, yeah, he's making quite a bit of money. So as you can see, 82k items sold. So he's making some decent money, I'm guessing, this guy. Anyway, we're not going to dive too much into that, but I just thought I'd make you understand how people are able to make some money with eBay like that. So I found a way to automate the listing process, which made things a lot simpler and easier for me. I used tools like OTDS Lister. This would simply extract all the pictures, descriptions, and titles onto my store directly, instead of me having to do it all manually by myself, which, as you can imagine, would take a lot of time, especially if you're trying to list in the hundreds and thousands even. It would automatically include the markup for me as well. So if I chose to make 20% profit per item, this lister would also help me list the item with a 20% markup after the eBay fees. Now, of course, there was more to this. I had to check and see if this item was in demand as well. So I didn't just list anything randomly. I had to make sure that customers were actively buying it on eBay. So I used a product research tool called Zeek Analytics to carry out this research. But look, this video isn't a course and I no longer run this business, so I won't dive too much into this part. But yeah, I use Zeek Analytics and it can just pretty much tell me if a certain item or product is doing well and if other sellers are selling it as well. And it shows you the competition and so on. So now you know how I listed products onto my store. You're probably wondering, how would I manage orders? I simply input the customer's details onto the retailer's site and I have the retailer ship it directly to the customer's address. It was that simple. So for example, like the aloe vera product, right? I would go on Amazon, add to cart, put the customer's address, and then Amazon ships it directly to the customer's address. If I used Amazon Prime, it will be delivered next day. It was that simple. Like, I wouldn't have to hold inventory, wouldn't have to manage stock. It was all done for me. I simply just put the customer's address and job done. Now, I didn't really care if I was making much money in the beginning. I just wanted to purely see if the concept worked. I list items from different retailers and I see if I get orders. And I did, quite a lot of them as well. So I did this for a good few months. I was already making a few $100s a month with this method because I had no fees to pay as well on eBay. eBay allowed users to list up to 1,000 items for free as long as it wasn't a business account. So of course I made use of that as well. Now, of course, as I listed up to 1,000 products, I quickly came across a problem. Tracking stock was becoming increasingly difficult. I just couldn't keep up tracking stock and prices for 1,000 products. It was just impossible. There was many times where I sold an item on eBay and it wouldn't be on stock on the retailer's site, or the price would have been a lot different. So I've had to refund many buyers because of this issue, and I had to remove it from my listing completely. So this was happening quite a lot, and I had to find a way to manage this. Then I came to realize, I was like, all right, the only way I can make this work is I need a supplier that has thousands of products, just one supplier. I don't want to use multiple, I need to use one. Then also on top of that, I need to find an automation tool that tracks stock and price changes. So I started doing some research online and I finally came across a solution. I realized Amazon worked really well with a software called OTDS. What OTDS allows me to do is I could list and track any product from Amazon. It tracks stock, it tracks prices, it tracks, the tracking. So if it got delivered to the customer or not, it does everything for me, which is really good. Plus, I'm only dealing with one supplier, Amazon themselves, and they're quite reliable. I have the perks of utilizing next day delivery, so buyers were more prone to buy from me than others. Even if my price was a bit higher, they would tend to use me just because of, the fast or quick delivery times I was able to provide. And especially around Christmas time, where a lot of buyers were on eBay and trying to get stuff really quickly. They're late on getting gifts probably. I had a lot of people just jumping onto me. They didn't care about the price. They're just trying to get something, a gift or something on time. I made most of my money in Q3 and Q4. But overall, in general, throughout the year, I was selling evergreen products as well. I was making good money all year round, to be honest. Returns were also really easy to manage. Tracking was easy to convert and display on eBay. It was all working well. I barely had any issues as I was growing in the beginning with Amazon. So eventually I refreshed all my listings. I revamped them all with only products from Amazon and I quickly saw success. I was able to nearly double my profit. So for around 1,000 products, I was making around $500 to $600 a month, give or take. So I did some quick maths around this data. So I thought, let me go by the minimum. So if 1,000 items make me around $500 a month, roughly 10,000 items should make me around $5,000. And then 30,000 would make me $15,000. So each account had a limit where I couldn't list more than 20 to 30K items. So every time I hit that threshold, I created a new account. I managed to also hire a Amazon to eBay lister, and then we simply just got working. Using what I learned, I created multiple business accounts. And I also started creating accounts and running the stores in different countries as well. So I had like 2 in the US, 3 in the UK, and I had 1 in Germany and 1 in France. And now I'm not running any of these. In fact, I sold all of my stores except for one, just in case, for personal use. For example, if I ever want to sell my camera or something, I've got a good healthy eBay account that I can use to sell my stuff. So I just wanted to keep one of my smaller accounts for personal use, that's all. Actually, I'll also show you how that account looks like. So as you can see, I've got around 7,000, nearly 7,200 reviews, which is pretty good, but this was fairly a small account. Most of my accounts had like 50K plus reviews. Like I was selling in the thousands, so this is fairly small to me. It was one of my smaller accounts and that's why I kept it. The other ones I was able to sell off and make a good amount of money. So yeah, this is the reporting section. I quickly generated the report. And this just shows you how it works. So I started around July, I opened the account. August, I started selling. And you realize like a gradual increase in sales. I only started listing in the hundreds and then thousands as my account got bigger. Because if you list everything in one go, you could get banned. You want to list slowly in the beginning, at least for the first 4 to 5 months, and then you can start listing big. So yeah, I guess September, I only made £900 for that month. October, 2,000. And then it starts to double. 5,000, December. I think this was 2023. I think I started selling on eBay overall, I think around late 2022. So 6 to 7 months before this. And I already had counts doing like 70, 80K months. So yeah, this one was fairly small. So yeah, December, 11K, January is around 17, February is around 20, and then March is 23. And I think, yeah, there we go. April's around 36. And then for the rest of the months, I did stay around 30 to 40K on this specific account. So that was pretty good for me. And the reason why I couldn't go more than that is because I had a limit to how much I can list on my store. I hit the threshold with this account on how much I can list. And yeah, we made some really decent money. My profit margin was around, to be fair, after fees and everything, I was only seeing around 10 to 15%. That's just one of my stores. I thought I'd show you guys some proof. So as you can imagine, life was good. Each account was growing and getting more positive ratings. And I was netting around 20 to 30K dollars every month, which is money I had never seen before. But of course, it didn't always go like that. Along the way, I noticed noticed this isn't the best business model out there. And I got hit with a lot of issues. So I'll name all of them here, starting with the very first one. eBay's random bans and reviews. And goodness me, this one kills me the most. That's why it's the first one. You'll get restricted and suspended for absolutely no reason. Even if you have no account defects or issues, this can happen to anyone. eBay have this thing where they do annual reviews. Some accounts get restricted, some don't. I had no issues. I was a top rated seller. I had good reviews. I barely had any negative reviews. I was like 99% plus rating. My customers were happy 99.9% of the times. And yeah, my account was really healthy, but they still wanted to review it. And the annoying thing is these restrictions or reviews can take up to 2-3 weeks to complete. To top it all off, if one account gets restricted, all my other accounts get suspended or restricted as well, which was really annoying. No payouts, so you don't get your money for 2 or 3 whole weeks while orders are still coming through. It's annoying because you still have all your listings active, so that means orders are still coming through, but you're not getting paid by eBay. It was a really tough time. I didn't want to close my store. I couldn't pause it. And I remember at one point I was like $120,000 in debt. It was crazy. It was scary across 5 or 6 different accounts. And this was just accumulating day by day. And it was an absolute nightmare. I remember I lost weight in that time. Honestly, I felt like I was going to lose myself. I barely slept. It was very stressful. I thought like eBay was never going to give me my accounts back. But eventually, they reviewed it and they found, of course, nothing wrong because I was doing everything properly. I provided tracking on time. When I had a return, I dealt with it quickly. I was replying to customers on time. I was doing everything properly. And the thing is, every 6-7 months, they had some kind of review. Now I sort of understand how it goes, but my very first time it came through, it was horrible. Sometimes it would only take a week, sometimes it takes 3 weeks, like depending on the account. It's horrible, it's horrible. Anyway, now the second reason as well is I had legal issues. So I thought it was fine for me to sell someone else's product, right? Because I'm ripping them directly from Amazon. Because in a way, I'm directly buying it from them and selling it to people on eBay. So I thought it was a win-win, right? Because I'm buying it from the supplier. So the person who's selling it technically on Amazon is also making money, but I'm just selling it for a higher price on eBay. So I was like, we're both making money, right? But there were many cases where brands I was taking and selling a listing from were also operating on eBay. Usually they'd simply ask me to take the listing down and not sell, but there were many that just didn't give me any warning, didn't reach out to me and just simply press charges directly. And because of that, I lost quite a bit of money, especially in the US. And even though I informed my lister to only put unbranded products on my stores, he will still slip up and end up listing the branded ones. So there were many times I had to, find and replace my listers. I thought the lister was the problem. And I understand it's really difficult to find unbranded products on Amazon that are selling well on eBay and have loads of competition. Now, the third reason is becoming VAT registered. I had to become VAT registered. And this took away so much money from me. And I'll tell you why. So in the UK, if you cross an annual revenue of £90,000, I think it is, or £85,000, you have to become VAT registered, meaning you pay 20% of what you sell back to the government. When I became VAT registered, I had to submit my VAT for all my stores. And this quickly became a problem because the accountant fees were really high on this because my accountants had to reconcile thousands and thousands of orders. I think the accountant themselves were taking around £3,000 to £5,000 a month, which is horrible. Like that took a third from my profit. So I was doing all this work and I expanded just for my profits to be cut in half. So accountant fees were really high, but that's because they had a lot of work to do. I understand. Reconciling thousands and thousands of orders was not easy. Fourth reason is people who just steal everything off your store. There are other sellers utilizing product research tools like Seek Analytics, and what that product research tool has, which is good but annoying at the same time, you can see other people's stores and you can see what's their top selling products. I had a lot of people following my stores and tracking my stores as well. Every time I listed an item that didn't have much competition and I was selling well on eBay, these guys quickly jumped onto it and lower the price as well, eliminating pretty much me from selling it. So it was so annoying trying to sort of bridge that gap. I had to constantly find new ways to list new products and overcome that. It was so annoying. So yeah, that product research tool can sort of be your downfall as well. It's like dropshipping in a way. You find a good product. If you're still small, you're going to get all these different dropshippers jump on it as well. And next thing you know, someone else got a better ad strategy than you. They've got more money to spend on ads. And then that's it. You're out of the picture, even though you found that product first. You were always on the run with eBay. You can't just list your products and that's it, sit back. Like you constantly had to look over your listings and update them. Fifth reason is expenses. Now, this business ran in expenses. Goodness me. Like, yeah, I had $3 million in revenue every year, but goodness me, I didn't see much of it. There were many fees, as I said, the accountants, I had the VAs as well that carry out customer service. So they will apply to customers and so on and respond to them, respond to their queries, their issues. I had around 2 or 3 different VAs and each one would manage like 1 or 2 different stores. I had also the OTDS fees, which were really expensive. Managing legal cases as well. I had the eBay subscription fees as well. I had to be very careful with my cash. So the sixth one is high revenue, lower profit business. The most I bought in a year was $3 million in revenue, and I netted around 10 to 15% of that. I ran this business for around 2 to 3 years. My first year, I made around 150K profit, and my second year, I totaled around 350K. And then let's talk about the seventh. It wasn't really an issue, but it became quite annoying as I grew. You can't do any kind of marketing. You can't promote anything. You can run ads, which eBay take a ridiculous fee to run ads, but you can't promote anything outside of eBay. You don't have control of your followers. So you can't really promote anything properly outside of eBay, and you can't carry out any kind of like email marketing. That's all in eBay's control. And because of that, there was only so much you could do to bring in more sales. So as I got bigger, I realized there weren't many methods apart from just listing and staying on top of your listings and having good customer service and all that stuff. That was like the only way you can get sales in. Other than that, you can't utilize any other marketing methods. So it was quite annoying. I think it was a wise decision for me to quit. I sold off all my stores except one, which brought me around $40,000. But overall, I think it just wasn't a stable business to pursue for the next 5 to 10 years. I was a slave to eBay. They could stop me from selling whenever they felt like it. I just didn't feel like it was a safe avenue for me to continue on. I think it was one of the best decisions I took. I shifted to freelancing and I created my own agency after that. It was risky because when I sort of closed off all my eBay stores and stuff, I technically had no income, but I did have a good safety net. I had a good amount of cash in the bank, which I have invested in all sorts of different things. I've gone into like real estate, I've got a bit of crypto, and I've invested it. I've made sure that money makes money. I've made sure that my money grows instead of like, trying to spend lavishly on stupid holidays and cars and stuff. Anyway, so quitting it was the best thing ever, but I had to replace it with an income immediately. I didn't like the feeling of not having any income at all, especially when I was earning 35K a month. Although I had a decent safety net, so I could, if I want, not work for like 5 years and I would be fine. I still wouldn't need a penny, but it's just your money melting away. All that hard work is being melted away. And I didn't want that. I shifted to freelancing and I created my own agency. And I wish I really done this from day one. I really wish. My profit margins are now 95%. I'm bringing in around $50,000 to $60,000 a month. That's not revenue, that's pure profit. It's a lot less stressful than eBay as well. I've got more control over my marketing and services, and it's something I own and I have control of. I started off doing video editing for YouTubers, and that grew, and I was eventually able to sell my marketing services to them, which made me a lot of money. So in my next video, I'll talk about exactly how I started that. Although I do have a brief video talking about it here, you can click on it here somewhere on the screen. I sort of talk about how I started off as a video editor for YouTubers, and I slowly merged my marketing services to them, which yielded a lot of money. That slowly grew because of word of mouth. My clients told their friends and their network about me because they were also making a lot of money. So I barely had to do any marketing around it. It was just the beginning phase where it was a bit difficult because I had to sort of work for free, build a rapport with my client, get their trust before I started advertising my other services to them. It was not easy, but I did this all within a year. So it was amazing. The fact that I'm able to reach 50 to 60K within just 1 year. And because of that, it's something I'm finally able to teach now. I do have a program around it. Unlike eBay, there's no risk to this. No legal issues, and I scaled it over to 50K a month within just a year. So I feel like I have some kind of authority now to teach others to do the same thing because I'm able to do it. That's simple. I feel like because I now hold the skill set and I have the ability to teach people to do the same thing without any risks, without them running into long-term issues or any kind of legal issues down the line. I teach people how to grow a digital product, how to make a business online, how to yield in a lot of customers, how to utilize inbound and outbound strategies, so much stuff. Like I've got all areas covered. I'll be honest, I don't regret running my eBay business. Like it taught me so many things. Without the eBay business, I don't think I would be where I am today. Yes, although I had a lot of hurdles and I ended up closing it and not running that business anymore, but I'll be very, very honest. That business taught me so many things. How to get cash flow, how to open a business account, how to run a business as well, how to manage a team, how to talk to an accountant and manage things with them, how to handle legal cases as well. So it really taught me so many things, how to manage cash and how to put profit aside and what to spend and what not to spend. So it taught me so many things about the business world, and I'm ever so grateful for it. So it really taught me how to run a full-on business online. It taught me how to run a multi-million-dollar revenue business, I guess. And it gave me so much confidence. My first order on eBay made me believe, I was like, shit, like you really can make money online. And of course, as that expanded and grew, I was like, this is making me so much more than my full-time job. It is possible for people to make a lot of money online. Once I saw that concept does work, that you can make money through a laptop, through an internet connection only, through a mobile device, like it's that simple. I was like, shit, Like, this thing is real. It does work. That gave me so much confidence that wherever I step in next, as long as I do it properly and I put my whole heart in it, I put my soul in it, and I really believe this is going to work, not half-hearted or anything, that's all I needed. I needed that confidence. And eBay really made me believe that the online game does work. Like, a lot of people make a lot of money out of this. That was so good for me. I needed that extra step because before I was trying out so many different businesses, dropshipping and this and that, and I would make a tiny bit of money, but most of the time I did lose money as well, especially with dropshipping. So once I crossed that hurdle, look at me now, like making 50, 60K a month. I'm also teaching people how to do it in my program. And a lot of people are doing really, really well. I've got someone in the group who's now reached 12, 13K a month. The program is still fresh. I've only had it open for a couple of months. But yeah, like honestly, a lot of people are becoming successful. And I'm so glad I can finally teach people. So the program is not my main source of income. I barely make money from it, to be honest. But I actually teach the thing I do. My main source of income is this agency. And I teach exactly how to run it in my program. And that's the lovely thing about it. I'm teaching what I do. It's not like I fully do it. My main income is my agency, not my program at all. And I've reached a stage now where by Q4 this year, I want to hopefully reach 80 to 100K a month. We'll see how much I'm able to reach. I've got a small team around me now. I've got a small team of editors. They're making content for my clients and we're running this whole really cool funnel that makes them money and all that good stuff. So I guess that's that. I hope this explains why I don't do eBay anymore. I just don't think it's a stable business. eBay have control of you. They're always changing. And it's just not something I want to do. I don't want to be part of that. I'm much happier. I'm making pretty much passive income at this point. I just have to get in a few client calls here and there. But apart from that, I've got a lot more time now. I've got money coming in. I've got a healthy amount of cash in the bank. I can finally focus on growing my online presence on YouTube, which is something I've always wanted to do. I guess if I can do it, anyone can as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions, anything you want to ask me, feel free and reach out to me on YouTube or even my Instagram. But apart from that, I'll see you guys in the next video where I'm going to talk about my current agency and how I'm making money with it. I'll show you the full roadmap, how I started, how I got my first few sets of clients, and how I scaled that to 50 to 60K today. Oh, and please like and subscribe. If you watched till here, you might as well subscribe. Like, honestly, I'm not even kidding. If you really have watched till here, what are you waiting for? Just hit that subscribe button. And trust me, a lot more value is going to be coming your way. Yeah, if you've watched till here, what are you waiting for? Like, just subscribe. I would subscribe to myself, but I can't. YouTube doesn't let me, unfortunately. Or am I still talking? Bye.